Welcome to Power Tips. Today we're going to be talking about AI models, specifically the object classification model. So Kylie, do you want to get us started and we can dive in and learn more about this model?
So I've been doing a lot of playing around with the AI Builder lately, which is something that I'll be talking about at DynamicsCon next week or at the Power Platform conference in 2 weeks. But there's lots of cool functionality in AI Builder, and this is right within the Power Platform, within the Maker portal. And there's all these cool pre-built models that you can take advantage of, and you'll see um, all these ones on the top. They are things that you can just use without making any like doing any training, right? Receipt processing, it knows how to process a receipt. And so it says up here it's a pre-built connector. And you can just add this right in to your flow or your app to take advantage of it. But there's also a lot of models here which are custom models. For example, this one here for document processing, where I design a whole form and I can train this AI model to read data from that form all on its own.
I
But
like that in their image there, they had a little coffee stain to show you that that doesn't
show you
impact the model.
it can read through coffee stains, and it can read handwriting, which is really cool. So usually when I am playing with this, I have my hubby fill out some of the forms and say, write this really messy and let's see how good it does, right? Um,
As we
but
learned in a prior video about Express Design, where we did handwriting and uploaded
yeah,
an image.
yeah, it's okay. Um, but what's really cool, like about the forms processing, is like I can put this in an app. It doesn't have to be in a flow, but I could put it in an app, and then you have someone else who still manually reviews it. And in all of these, you usually get back a confidence score in addition to the data. So you can be like, if you're less than 70% confident, then send for manual review or something like that. But the one that I've really been having fun with lately is this custom image classification with Lobe. And so Lobe is another tool that you can download that I think Microsoft acquired that you can just install on your computer, and you design your object classification model in there. And so something we talked about right before this too is the difference between object detection and object classification. So in this case, in object classification, we're taking an image and assigning one tag to it. So this is an image of, in our example, we're going to show our images of an alpaca or it's of a sheep. But in object detection would be counting the number of images or detecting multiple things in an image, right? So that's a little bit different. And there is a model for that that you can build right within um, right within the Power Platform without needing another tool. But let me quickly show you Lobe and what that looks like. So here's Lobe that I downloaded before, and you'll see that I already have images loaded up in here. And you can create your own models as well. And you only need 5 images of each classification to start training it. This model I've been playing with for a while, so I have a lot of images that have come through testing. But what you do is you'll put in 5 images of each type. We can look at our other images here, right? 5 images of each type. And then it automatically starts training this model. And then I can test it within here. So, within my training, it does tell me, how well it's doing. So it says these are the ones it identified correctly. Like here are the ones we're still struggling with. And it needs some more uh, if it's still struggling, this one's 46%, feel like it was better before, right? Then you want to train it with some additional, you can add additional pictures, right? To keep
To be
refining it.
fair, those long-haired sheep do look rather alpaca-ish.
And to be fair, I actually, after I uploaded these, I was like, are these really sheep or are these heirloom goats? They might be goats. So this guy is definitely a sheep. And Wookiee's so cute. Okay. And then you can test it right in here. So let me pull in a picture of an alpaca. And the crazy part about all this is that I was like, let me see what I have enough pictures of on my phone so I'm not just like stealing images from the internet. And I had enough pictures of alpacas, sheep, and goats to train this model.
That's
I
awesome.
feel like that's should be a concern. But yeah, you'll see we pulled that in. It knew it was an alpaca, and then we can check it off and it'll keep refining the model. You see it went back to training here because it's continuing to refine the model as we are learning this. Let me pull in one other goat. Pull in this
So
guy.
if you're like hypothetically building out this exact use case and you see that sheep percentage being super low, would you then add many photos of sheep to help train your model?
Exactly. Yeah. So we would want to keep adding more sheep so that it can detect, it learns the difference, right? So something that we're, it's hard. Sheep and goats are similar. Um, I think in this case, we probably need both more of sheep and goats. But I think here we would probably start with a lot more images of sheep and a lot more images of our alpaca so it can start to detect the difference, right? It's not good that we're going down, but each one we do, it's going to continue to refine that model. And so I guess I have let's try this one. See if our sheep behaves. It's too bad.
Did you just say it's too bad?
Bad. Anyways, so once you get the model working how you want it, you can just export this right to the Power Platform. So here you can go export and you just connect this up with your Power Platform account
Hmm.
and it will create it within AI Builder and then you can
Ooh.
use it in an app or a flow.
Now, is it
So,
solution aware?
oh, good question. Yes, it's not automatically put in a solution, but you can add it to a solution. So you'll see here's a model I imported before that was trying to baby or adult pandas. That one needs a lot more training, but it was cute, cute to train. Correct. 62%. It's really struggling here on our panda cubs. Um, and they and then I can put it into Power Apps or Power Automate, but I can also put it into a solution. Let's see, here's my demo solution I was using. And you'll see here, if it will load for us, that we'll have our AI builder models in there. So you can actually, here's my baby or adult panda model, and here's some other document processing models. I haven't moved this solution to a new environment yet, so I haven't confirmed how that works. My expectation would be that you'd have to make sure you enable the your AI builder demo before you probably import this.
That
Um,
makes sense.
but I'm going to test that next week. But yeah, now within our solution, there's this AI model area and you can add in any of your custom AI models right to your solution. So that's
Cool.
pretty cool. Yeah. So I have some great ideas for fun blogs about this, but how do we think we could use this kind of in a business sense?
Yeah, I mean, I really like the alpaca goat sheep example, but it is interesting to think how an organization might be able to use this. I can't think of something off the top of my head. What company would you have a lot of images that you'd want uploaded and easily detectable?
Yeah, I guess I was thinking about I think if we're on a oh, so upsetting every time it gets it wrong. Um, yeah, I think what I was thinking about is if we're on like a manufacturing line, let's say, and we have to make sure we have a specific part coming down the line or something, and then we could filter where that part goes or maybe flag something if it's a part that we aren't expecting. I mean, I guess
Hmm.
that makes sense, but also that sounds like a lot of work to
Yes.
train, right? And so with the question with all of the AI builder stuff is, when do I need to use cognitive services, right? So cognitive services is like the developer side in Azure of all of this AI stuff. And so you can build an there, object classification model there, and train it programmatically, right? So you could just
Mm-hmm.
upload a whole bunch of things and tag them all a lot faster, which I think would make sense in
In
that
like
kind
the
of scenario.
manufacturing
Right.
context. I feel like
Exactly.
maybe marketing would like this stuff too. Like if they're
Yeah.
holding contests for their brand and they're asking people to log in and like upload a photo for a contest, maybe that would be a better use case. But
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Like they're supposed to upload a photo of themselves and check, is this actually a person or is this not? Or did they upload their pet like they were supposed to? Yeah. And then I don't know, like, can I classify something that broadly in like dog or not dog? Or would that be too, I guess, and all dogs like look different too. So that's what makes it different. Um, and the whole thing to keep in mind with all of these things is this concept of responsible AI, right? And so, like, I was thinking of that while we're talking about, if we're talking about dogs, right? Is if I train it with all pictures of beagles, then I drop in a picture of a Great Dane, it might not recognize that's a dog because it looks so different from my sample data, right? Which is why it's really important to make sure we have a variety of sample data so that we can be taking in these other, we can be responding correctly and fairly and, being inclusive of all the dog breeds.
I love it. Well, I am really looking forward to seeing your whole presentation on this at some of the conferences coming up. So hopefully some of you who are watching will be at DynamicsCon Live, the Power Platform Conference or Summit, and you can hear all of this great stuff from Kylie. So
And
thanks again for the...
And hopefully by then it knows what a sheep is, and we'll see.
Awesome. All right.
Thanks
Thanks everybody.
everyone.
We'll see you next time for Power Tips.